Man, it's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. Feel what I'm saying? Now listen, man, you can tap in or you can tap out, but you know my slogan, you know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in, so let's get right into it. Now you already know time and energy are the highest forms of currency, my G. I know they got y'all here chasing the bag, chasing that money, chasing that mucho dinero, stacking that paper, that cheese, and that mozzarella, but always keep it in the front of your mental Rolodex. That time, energy are the highest forms of currency, my G's, at all times is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Big salute to all my day one investors, everybody that's highly invested in the channel, everybody that understands that we are growing this channel organically, constant elevation. We on our way to the top, well over 40,000 subscribers, on our way to 50K. Big salute to y'all. Even bigger salute to all my newcomers, all my new investors, all my new subscribers, everybody that's making their way to the Realest channel on YouTube, Grown Man Business TV. Feel what I'm saying? Now listen, man, I carved out a lane for the real, and I'm the only one in this lane. And if you merge into this lane, we gonna crash out. That's for sure. Big salute to y'all. Now do me a huge favor. Huge favor. Wipe your feet off before you walk into the big house. Yeah. Wipe off your feet before you step into the big house. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure your notification bells are ringing every time we go live right here on Grown Man Business TV. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Now, big salute to everybody that's locked into the channel. We are growing organically. I just want to give y'all a shout out. Big salute to all my day one investors, all my wrenches, everybody that's tuned in. We're going to have a conversation, man. Now, I got a lot of people in the DM. I got a lot of people in the DM saying, Big G and BTV, what's your perspective on Fat Joe and Jadakiss with the new podcast? I mean, what's your thought process on all of that that's going on with Fat Joe and Jadakiss, right? And I sat with that for a few minutes, and I wasn't even going to talk about it, but the downloads started to download, and you already know how I do. Once the downloads begin downloading, it ain't no stopping the downloads once they start downloading, right? So we're going to have a conversation, not going to be a long, drawn-out situation, not going to make this a long live stream, but I do want to give y'all the downloads. I do want to give y'all my perspective on Fat Joe and Jadakiss with the new podcast. But before we do that, we're going to do some customizations to the chat. Anytime I'm speaking about, you know, the higher ups and the elites, anytime I'm giving y'all game when it comes down to what we see going on in the industry, anytime, right? You got to know, man, the people is watching, the higher ups and the elites is watching. They shadow banning the channel. They muffling the message. You know, a lot of people are talking about this, but nobody's really going to approach it from Grown Man Business TV's perspective. So before we get into this, man, let me do some customizations to the chat. Big salute to everybody that's locked in. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. We're not going to make this a long live stream, but we are going to drop some game, and I'm going to give you some of this pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick into the bottles. The dope is pure. It sells itself. Big salute to the chat. Big salute to the chat. Cuban, I see you in here. Salute to Cuban Link. I see you in the chat. MJ, I see you in the chat. Big shooters. Yeah. My wrenches is in here. Shoot first, ask questions later. And we're gonna have this conversation, man. Let me handle something. Y'all already know how we give it up. You already know how we give it up. Let's see. Bam. You see that at the bottom of the chat, right? You already see that. Make sure before you get to using your Twitter fingers with your Twitter fingers and all that, all in the comment section with your Twitter fingers, all in the comment section with your questions and your Twitter fingers doing your Twitter finger. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you tuned into the Realest channel on YouTube. Grown Man Business TV is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. And if not, get in the back of the class. Close your mouth, open your ears, and prepare yourself for this pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. Now, let's talk about this, man. Fat Joe, Jadakiss, new podcast. Now, one thing for sure, two things for certain. It's not surprising. It's not surprising to me, seeing as though the hip hop, you know, the industry, everything going on with rap music as a whole has been sold out to the higher ups and the elites. I mean, back in the day, you was able to sell CDs. You was able to make millions and millions of dollars off your craft. And now the higher ups and the elites got these dudes streaming, making pennies on the dollar when it come to the music, making pennies on the dollar when it come to their catalog. So it's not surprising when you look around and you check the landscape and you check the the background and everything that's going on with content creating, and we seeing these huge puppets, these artists, these rappers making a way to YouTube, making a way to independent content creation. It's not surprising, but it is diabolical and it is nasty work on a certain level. Why would I say that? What's going on with that? Well, what you got to understand is this, right? One thing for sure and two things for certain. Majority of these dudes that are now coming to content, coming to YouTube, they used to tell us, we ain't them YouTube niggas. I ain't no internet nigga. I don't do the internet games. I don't do the internet talking. I ain't into all of that. You feel me? And then in due time, what you will notice is those same dudes, those same rappers, they make their way to the internet. What you'll recognize and what you'll understand is the same dudes saying that they not internet and they not YouTubers, X, Y, and Z are saying the exact same thing on the internet and now are on YouTube. Now, big salute to any and everybody that's coming into the content creating game, that's coming to, you know, talk they talk and walk they walk. Big salute to that. But we got to separate the big dogs from the puppies. We got to separate the big dogs from the puppies. And the difference between what I'm doing and what they are doing is the independent part. Independent content creator. That's what Grown Man Business TV is. I'm an independent content creator. That means I came into this lane and I carved out a lane for the real and it's nobody else in this lane. That means I got on YouTube. I started creating content without the help of the higher ups and the elites. Without the help of those people. I ain't getting bed with those people just to bring you content. Jada, Joe, they in bed with those people. Shannon Sharp, Ocho Cinco, they in bed with those people. Cam, Mace, they in bed with, I mean, I could go down a list and I'm going to go down a list. Those dudes are puppets for the higher ups and the elites. And people like Grown Man Business TV, we are independent content creators. All right, so like I said, I'm not going to make this a long one, but Fat Joe doing anything in the regards of content or YouTube or talking, using that beluga mouth he got, salute the Cuban, that beluga mouth because he's a beluga whale, right? I'm going to address that. Nasty work. Nasty work. And you know, we're going to go deeper. I'm going to really dissect this situation. But what you got to understand is it get deep, it get wicked, and it's always deeper than rap. Now, my first angle with Jada and Fat Joe. You got to understand something, man. This is not hip hop. This is not the industry. This ain't the Diddy parties. You know, this area, this content creating thing, it ain't for everybody. Just because you are a multi-platinum rapper, just because you have been working with the higher ups and the elites, you have been pushed into the public with the machine that they use, don't mean you just gonna translate to content creating or it's gonna translate to YouTube. I mean, we've seen it over and over again. These rappers, these very popular, you know what I'm saying, super successful rappers coming to YouTube and not making a wave. Not being able to sustain over here. Because you got to understand this, right? And you got to really be able to see through the smoke and mirrors. When it comes to this independent content creating thing, you either got it or you don't. You don't get to hide behind the machine when it comes to YouTube. You don't get to hide behind the higher ups and the elites. You don't get to hide behind a label budget. Yeah, you know that budget that they used to give y'all for y'all to get your makeup done, get your videos shot, have all the little models around y'all, make it look like you got some charisma. It's hard to hide that over here at YouTube. You know, on Instagram, right, you could post a picture. You could put a filter on that picture. You can make it look a certain way. You could put a caption on that picture. You can manipulate the narrative over there on Instagram. On YouTube, you really got to be him. You really got to have charisma. You really got to be articulate. You really got to be able to speak up. You got to be able to say what you mean and mean what you say. See, YouTube is a different monster. That's why everybody can't come over here. Everybody ain't gonna make it over here. This ain't the industry. Fat Joe, he been hiding behind a label budget for a long time. You understand what I'm saying? These rappers are actors for real. They ain't really like that. And when you take the label budget away, when you get them outside of the camera, when you stop all the extra help that the machine is giving them, these dudes is type corny. It's like when you meet your favorite rapper and you realize he's a cornball. You meet that dude that you used to listen to your whole life growing up, and you realize he ain't nothing like those raps. Oh, we gonna talk about that. Jada and Joe. Joe and Jada. We gonna have this conversation. It's like when you meet these rappers and you realize this dude's softer than Dollar Tree cotton, but he used to rap all that gangster shit when I was growing up. Had me all out in the street, wilding out, because I thought that's what it was. And he ain't even, oh, yeah, we gonna talk about that, Jada and Joe. Respectfully. I'm not one of the content creators that's gonna disrespect y'all, and I ain't gonna hate on what you got going on. Do what you do. Salute to you with you and your new podcast. But when you come into this lane, when you step into content creation, when you come over here to this application, right? Oh yeah, you subject to be critiqued, homie. You subject to be dissected. That's what happens when you come over here. They can't put the budget dollars behind you over here and hide that you ain't really like that. It's a difference over here. 40,000 subscribers is not the same over there on Instagram. 40,000 subscribers on YouTube is something like 100,000 subscribers on Instagram. Yeah. Instagram ain't real. Now let's go to another angle, man. Big salute to the chat. I just wanted to throw that out there. For all you rappers that talk about you ain't internet, you ain't YouTube, you ain't no YouTuber, you ain't no blogger, and then all of a sudden you over here YouTubing and you blogging. Don't ever get Instagram confused with YouTube. Don't ever get the industry confused with what we doing over here. It's different over here. Yeah, you saw what happened to Mav Hoffa when he started rubbing shoulders and going to war with the dirty sector. You saw how that played out. It's different over here. These same dudes ain't YouTubers. These the same, I'm gonna stay right here, right? I want you to think back on how many times these rappers and these actors tried to make you feel less than because you was a blogger. Tried to make you feel less than because you was a content creator. Tried to make you feel like a sucker because you talk about different things that's going on with the up under the higher ups and the elites. You talk about different things that's going on in the industry. And they come up and they talk and they say, yeah, these bloggers is talking. These bloggers is this and these bloggers is that. And then they turn right around and turn to bloggers. I say that to say this. Don't never believe the hype. Don't ever believe what you looking at on these rap videos. Don't ever believe the music that you listening to in your CD player or your Spotify, your streaming. Don't ever believe these dudes because they're being used as puppets. They got you thinking it's cool to slide. They got you thinking that YouTubers and content creators and bloggers is lame niggas. And these same rappers come right to YouTube and try to be bloggers. They come to right to YouTube and think just because they made it in the industry, they went to one of those Diddy parties. Yeah, they was pop locking and dropping it. Yeah, don't worry about it. You came to YouTube. You have ran into one of the realest on YouTube. I know what y'all was doing with Diddy. I know why y'all had those shiny shoots on and all that. Jadakiss, hey, respectfully. This your history, right? You came to YouTube to do some talking, right? Well, let's talk about it. I know why y'all was dancing around and all that with those shiny shoots. I know why y'all was upset with Diddy when y'all was out there in Cali. I know why y'all felt the way and y'all was pissed off at Diddy. I know what he did. I know what y'all did. Now all of a sudden you got y'all doing YouTube and y'all doing blogging and y'all over on this side. Well, come on to the dark side. Word to 050 the movement, China Brim and all that. Harlem Legend. Come on over to the dark side. Now let's get deeper into this, man. But you know, like I said, these rappers is actors, homie. They not who they portray to be. They not who they portray to be, homie. Right? You dudes is not rappers, you YouTubers. You bloggers now. Huh? Now, when you say, you know, these dudes is misleading, these dudes ain't who they say they are, what do you mean by that, GMB TV? Well, we gonna have this conversation because you already know I done shot a million shots at Fat Joe already. I done already exposed to y'all, you know, that racism that's in Fat Joe. I done already gave y'all the game on Fat Joe, and I'm gonna tap back into that. But Jadakiss, since you want to sit next to Fat Joe on this podcast, since you wanna, you know, you feel like you got some validation and all that, we gonna talk about you. We're gonna direct this at Jadakiss before we go anywhere else. Okay? Because it is what it is and it'll be what it's gonna be. It's absolutely nasty work. Watching these rappers turn actors, watching these rappers turn bloggers, watching these rappers scraping and scramble because the industry ain't paying them like they used to. Them Diddy parties done got canceled and all that. Respectfully. You know, we gonna have this conversation, man. Big salute to the chat. Let me say this as well before we go any deeper, right? You know, I'm gonna save that for later. Let's talk to Jada. Now, when I was growing up, right, and this was a conversation that took place about a month ago. Had a lot of people in the DMs. A lot of people was tapped in at Grown Man Business TV, and they wanted me to talk about this, but I was tight busy. You know, I was handling grown man business at the moment, and I didn't get a chance to talk about this. But it's funny how the universe works, how everything comes 360. All right, so this is perfect time, Jada. This is perfect timing. Now, when I was growing up, it was Jadakiss. It was the locks. You know, it was I'm a rough rider. You feel what I'm saying? We was rough riding. You know, Jada was talking about guns. He was talking about drugs. He was talking about Yonkers. He was, you know, as a youngster, you know, and I still to this day respect Jadakiss as one of the top lyricists ever in hip hop. But he was using his talent. He was using his lyricism. He was using D Block, right, to push jail, to push death, and to push destruction on us. And we listened to it, man. We rolled with it, man. We thought it was cool. You understand me? And come to find out, you know, matter of fact, one thing for sure, two things for certain, over here at Grown Man Business TV, you already know, I kept the receipts. So let's go through this receipt real fast, and then we're going to double back. But Jada, you know, you think it's a coincidence that after this receipt hit the internet, now all of a sudden you making a U-turn to blogging? All of a sudden, you making a B-turn and a U-turn to content creating? I don't think it's a coincidence because I don't believe that anything is a coincidence. Big salute to the chat. Run them likes up, man. 200 people. I need well over 100 likes in this chat. Run the likes up. Let's look at this receipt. We're going to double back and we're going to get into this. Big salute.
Point, you know, since he became a father, he just came to appreciate growing up in a two-parent household. Actually, it was a label that he didn't really want to talk about because it wasn't street. I mean, and he didn't tell you he went to private school, and we had...
No, that wasn't that nigga that started something. I didn't hear it in there.
I don't know. They ain't want to put me on the Summer Jam screen.
You was Clarence from the other Summer Jam screen, huh? Yo, you was Clarence from the other side of 8 Mile?
On the Summer Jam screen. That just goes to show you don't have to be of the hood to be in the hood, right? Or vice versa.
We still lived in the hood, though.
Right, we still lived in the hood.
We wasn't coming from Bel Air. We was doing all of this in the hood.
I did this with my mom. She heard all that poverty rhyme. She's like, wait, huh? Poverty? No, you had a good home. Don't get out there lying. But for some of us, it'd be a choice.
Fact.
Like, we don't have to go this way, but it's right there. It look good outside, and I gotta go see what's going on. So Jadakiss went to college, private school. I'm writing all this down.
Styles and Sheik went there too. Nah. They did.
Can't do that.
I ain't snitching. They did.
It was the same school.
P and Luke, we all went to the same school. Then P went to the jail.
Point.
Ooh, now we go talking. I'm gonna run this receipt back, but I want to kind of just give a synopsis. I want to give some context. I want to talk about this since y'all want to be bloggers, right? Now, in this receipt right here, Jadakiss' father, his daddy, told the world that Jadakiss grew up in a 2-parent household. Jadakiss went to private school. Jadakiss grew up in a great family dynamic in a great home. Jadakiss had no reason to be selling drugs. He did not have to be on the block. He did not have to be outside in Yonkers doing what they was so-called doing in Yonkers. You understand? Jada went to college. He went to private school. He was Clarence from 8 Mile. But all I heard Jada talk about was selling dope. You know, yeah, when the coke come in, you gotta use the scales that they weigh the whales with. That's all I remember. All I remember is that when the coke that they had came in, wherever they was getting all this dope from, it was so much dope they had to use the scales that they weighed the whales with. We gonna make it. We gon'. That's all I know. What I'm telling you is these rappers is actors. Yeah, it looked good outside, so that's why you did it. You did it because it was a fad. You did it because it looked good. You thought it was cool, and you went outside, and then you got on these records. You got down with Rough Rider. You got down with DMX, and you pushed. You pushed poison to the people, respectfully. So how are we supposed to know that you're going to do anything different with this podcast? How are we supposed to line up and understand that the Jadakiss that we once knew is not the Jadakiss that it really was? And not only did all of that come out, instead of standing on your square, instead of standing on business, instead of you just being a real one, you threw Sheik Luch and Styles P under the bus too. That's just what a dude from private school is going to do. That's what a square is going to do. A square is going to say, hey, yo, my homies was in private school too. Yo, I mean, we wasn't talking about Styles P and Sheik Luch. Sheik Luch and Styles P daddy ain't on the Joe Budden podcast letting us know that you was a fake and a phony all these years. Absolutely nasty work. Now, I will say this. Jada had a line that I remember where he say, I never did a day but had the jails on smash. K-I double. I let the Boricua swing and just let the mind thing I double. Kiss been a boss. Y'all just been working. Now, yeah, I remember that song. You modeling mama, knock yourself out. Want to let your head down, knock yourself out. Oh, you ready to move, knock yourself out. You want to get in the coop? I remember all that. So I ain't never really thought about the whole he ain't been to jail part about it. You don't got to be a gangster just because you went to jail. Just because you went to jail don't make you thorough. You going to jail mean you got caught. It mean you're not that good at the crimes you was committing and you went to jail. But everything else was nasty work, Jada. You know, you ain't do one song talking about private school. You ain't do one song thanking your parents for staying together. You ain't do one song about your parents' influence on your upbringing, having your mother and having your father. You could have did songs letting us know, yo, if you got your mother and your father, you're blessed. You could have did songs and you could have gave us information telling us go to private school, go to college. Instead, you told us about drugs. You told us the coke that you had coming in was so much that you had to use the scales that they weigh the whales with and all that. You don't remember that? So, why am I saying all this? What's the message in the madness? You're not gonna be able to come to YouTube. You're not gonna be able to come to the content creating lane with all that fake and phony. Because when you on that camera, we can see through all that. When you talking to that mic and you on that camera, we can see that you ain't who you said you was. You ain't who you was made out to be. You are Clarence from 8 Mile. You know, Clarence had a pretty good marriage, and Clarence's parents had a really good marriage. You remember that. You remember all that, don't you? Now let's talk, because we're gonna get back to Jada. I thought that was nasty work. And I thought you didn't have to bring Styles P into this. Salute to Styles P, the ghost. I rock with Styles P. You didn't have to bring Styles and throw him under the bus. We never knew that Styles P went to private school. Sheik Luch, the gorilla, the silverback gorilla. We never knew that Sheik Luch was in Why did you do that? Make me feel like if you get put in that interrogation room, you're going to start talking, but that's neither here or there. I'm trying to give you some, I'm trying to shine some light on who we are looking at when it comes to these YouTubers, these bloggers. And I'm going to get deep into that because the higher ups and the elites, they playing chess at the highest level. And I'm going to break that down for you. I'm going to really show you what they doing right in front of our face. So every time y'all come to YouTube, every time y'all come to this content creating game, you will see this. You're going to say, damn, GMB TV was on point with this. That's the realest on YouTube. That's the realest. Nasty work. Let me play this one more time, and then we're going to talk about Fat Joe. But let's listen to this one more time. Jada, I'm sorry, homie. I gotta do it. I gotta do it. You merging into the wrong lane. You merging it. This ain't Rough Riders. This ain't Def Jam. You ain't got a label budget that's going to be able to hide you from the truth over here. Respectfully. Let's listen. Look, watch this. Look.
But since he became a father, he just came to appreciate growing up in a 2-parent household. Actually, it was.
I want y'all to look at something real quick. I'm gonna let his dad finish. Salute to his daddy for telling the truth. But I want you to look at the posture. I want you to look at the posture in Jadakiss right here. Now this is the Rough Rider. This is the Who Shot Your remix. This is Bad Boy. I want you to look at the posture. Cause this look. Look at his hands right there. Look at his back. Look at his posture. That is a private school. That is a college bound. That is a good young man right there. Look. 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 That is a private school bound, college bound. That is a good kid right there. That's not the Jada we thought you. Listen to his daddy. Go ahead, talk to him.
Labels that he didn't really want to talk about because it wasn't street. And he didn't tell you he went to private school, and we had.
No, that wasn't that nigga that started something. I didn't hear it in there.
I don't know. They ain't want to put me on the Summer Jam screen.
You was Clarence from the other Summer Jam screen, huh? You was Clarence from the other side of 8 Mile
on the Summer Jam screen. That goes to show you don't have to be of the hood to be in the hood.
right? Or vice versa. We still lived in the hood, though. Right, we still lived in the hood. We wasn't coming from Bel Air. We was doing all of this in the hood.
I did this with my mom. Poverty. No, you had a good. We don't have to go this way, but it's right there and look good outside, and I gotta go see what's going on. So Jadakiss went to college, private school. I'm writing all this down.
Styles and Sheik went there too. Nah. They did. Can't do that. I ain't snitching. They did. It was the same school. P and Luke, we all went to the same school. Then P went to the jail. Point.
Oh, he was about to start talking. He was about to start going. Hey, we all went to the same school, and P went to jail. And Kiss been a boss. Y'all just start working. Now kick your feet up till your arms start hurting. Don't put them down till I tell you. Whoever want to be the hard-headed to find out what the shells do. Yeah, you can put them down if you want. Yeah. Now don't put them down till I tell you. Whoever want to be hard-headed can find out what the shells do. Yeah, you can put them down if you want. Oh, yeah, okay. Y'all don't remember that. All right, Jada, we gonna give you a break. We gonna move on to your homie. Now, let's talk about Fat Joe. I gotta make some moves. I got some things to do. We not gonna stay here all day. Now, if you don't remember, Fat Joe had his own podcast. Fat Joe had came to YouTube. He had came to the content creating lane, and he was doing his own podcast, and he was doing his own content creating, and it didn't pan out. It didn't work out. Yeah, Fat Joe could hide behind the bars of Big Pun. He can hide behind, Cuban Link. He can hide behind Terror Squad. But when you come into this lane, when you come into this area, when you step into real content creating, you got to be authentic, homie. You got to be whoever you are. There is no filter with this. There is no green screen with this. You are who you are. You was who you was before you got here. So as many, the millions of subscribers, the million of followers that Fat Joe got on Instagram, it didn't convert. It didn't cross over. It didn't translate to YouTube. Yeah, you don't remember Fat Joe, he been had a YouTube channel. He been talking crazy on YouTube for a while now. So because it didn't work like that, Fat Joe had to get up under the higher ups and the elites. He had to follow the blueprint. And I'm going to break that blueprint down for you. But for right now, I want you to just listen. I want you to listen to what these guys are saying. And then we're going to kind of dig into that. We're going to kind of just break that down. Big salute to the chat. Run them likes up.
Buddy, what's going to make the difference with the Joe and Jada podcast?
Authenticity. You know what I mean? It got to be an organic conversation, correct? We can't ride the wave of what's going on out here. You know what I mean? This ain't that, and that ain't this.
That ain't this.
It's cracking Kiss.
Oh, see, my thing is when you talk about that's one right there. When you talk about hip hop podcasts, see, I can't salute you if you didn't go and did a show and the promoter beat you for your second half of your money, or you went to a show, the promoter don't want to pay you.
If you haven't been through the farm league,
listen.
Of what it
Listen,
takes.
you can't be sitting up here dissecting the albums, and that's the fucking problem we had with rap since the beginning, since the Source mics and all this shit. It's like, you ain't even played the game. You see, the reason why we love TNT so much with Chuck and Shaq, these are legends. They played the game. They know the ins and outs. When it comes to Jada and Joe, like, we've been fucked over, we done won, we done had moments, we done had anthems. We know the game. We done got beat by the promoters.
Let's stop right there. I don't want to let too much go, right? So basically what Fat Joe and Jadakiss are saying is they are qualified to have this podcast because they have been in the rap game and they are qualified to talk about the rap game. And that is the problem, is that a lot of people are talking about things that they have never experienced or they have never engaged in. And then he said, you know, TNT, you got Shaq, you got Charles Barkley. These dudes actually played basketball so they can talk about it. So when I thought about that, I said to myself, well, you know, you dudes ain't never been YouTubers. You dudes ain't never been bloggers. You know, what would qualify you to come and do blogs? Because you're a rapper don't mean you could be a blogger, right? Or, okay, you know, you dudes was in the rap game. You were up under the higher ups and the elites. Y'all was a part of the industry. You know, me, I don't really talk about rap. I don't break down albums. This is not a reaction channel over here. I don't react. I make y'all react to what I'm doing. So we not even in the same lane for real. But when you look at even what y'all are talking about, Nick, you know, right here, the Knicks comeback reaction, right? Y'all talking about the Knicks. Y'all talking about the MVP of the NBA. Y'all talking about the Met Gala. Y'all talking about a lot of things that y'all ain't never played in. Y'all ain't never participated in. You ever been to the Met Gala, Fat Joe? If not, why the hell are you talking about it? You're not qualified. If I leave it up to what you're saying, you ever played in the NBA? Then why are you breaking down what's going on in the NBA? Are you a sports analyst? How? I mean, man, you're 400 pounds. You ain't ran a goddamn lap in your whole life. You ain't did a layup. You ain't played no basketball. So why are you talking about it? So again, this is what I mean when I say these rappers, these industry plants, these dudes, they are so full of themselves that they think that they can come into other lanes and then speak on why we shouldn't be talk. So you can talk about the Met Gala, but if we talk about you, Fat Joe, then we suckers. You could talk about the NBA, even though you never played in the NBA. But if we talk about Jadakiss, us bloggers, we shouldn't be doing that. That ain't how it would work. That ain't how it would work. And one thing for sure, two things for certain, what I'ma do over here when it come to this independent content creating is I'm letting y'all rappers need to know y'all stepping into the danger zone when y'all come over here. Y'all stepping into a danger zone. Don't ever think you could come into this lane over here and tell us what we can do and what we can't do, or make us feel less than, or make us feel like suckers because we blog about you guys. Don't become content, Jada. Don't become content like Fat Joe became content with his knock knees and all that. Yeah, his knees is still knocking. Number one chief rocker, his knees is knocking. Yeah, y'all, man. Number one chief rocker, the chief rock. Your knees is knocking, Fat Joe, and they still knocking. You can't even pull your goddamn kneecaps apart. Every time you move and you walk, your kneecaps is rubbing together. Don't ever tell us what we could talk about and why we can't talk about it. You talking about the Met Gala. You ever been to the Met Gala? You got anything to do with the NFL draft? Because you talking about Shador Sanders? You are a rapper. Jadakiss, you are a rapper. And come to find out, you guys are imposers. You guys ain't even real like we thought you was real. Jada, I just played the clip of your daddy telling us you was in private school and you had two parents and Clarence's parents had a pretty good marriage. You ain't the Rough Rider. How that turned to rough riding? So y'all ain't even real like that. Right? And if you come up here and you should be talking about the things that you were engaged in, then y'all should be talking about rap. Y'all should be talking about Diddy parties. Y'all should be talking about baby oil. Y'all should be talking about all the things that are going on in your industry. Yeah, you're talking about the Met Gala. You're talking, look. You know, you're talking about a lot of stuff you got nothing to do with. Talking about the Grammys. I mean, you might got some Grammys. Now, I'm going to just, you know, like I said, man, I'm going to play. I only got one more angle. I'm not staying long on this. I'm going to get right to the point. Let's let Fat Joe talk real quick. Go ahead, Joe. Look.
These rumors were made by radical racist. Let's just say that. Okay, it's a group of these guys that don't want to hear Jamaican, don't want to hear Guyanese, they don't want to hear a black guy that ain't down with them. Right? So their job is to criticize anybody who don't look like them or who ain't black American.
Who are these guys?
You want me to say their name? We're going to give them too much clout.
I mean,
the FBA, Foundational Black Authority, whoever the fuck these broke niggas is.
Foundational Black Americans. You knock-knee, boy. Your knees is knocking right now as we speak. It's foundational Black Americans. But you can say authority as well, because I ain't gonna lie. This is the authority over here. Yeah, this is the authority over here. So now you sitting down with a foundational Black American. See, when you was trying to do your little podcast, it wasn't working out. The higher ups and the elites told you got to go get one of them, Fat Joe. Knock-knee Latino. We not put no more money into what you got going on until you go get one of those black boys to ride with you. I ain't gonna lie, Jada, I'm type disappointed, but I understand. You're not Jadakiss, you're Clarence from 8 Mile. Yeah, and Clarence's parents had a real good marriage. And Clarence went to private school. That's a private school. Yeah, we all saw 8 Mile. So I was disappointed, but I understand. You not who you made out to be. Fat Joe had to go get him. He had to go get him a nigga. He had to go get one of us. Baby girl, what's going on? Everything all right? Yeah. How was work? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he had to go after talking about foundational Black Americans, the foundational Black authority. He had to go and get one of us because them people wasn't rocking with you. You ain't got enough career. You ain't charismatic. You ain't got enough. You ain't built like that. Yeah, your knees is knocking. You're walking, you're sliding, you're scraping and yeah. You was riding with Diddy when Diddy was riding. Yeah, you was doing that. Clarence's parents got a real good marriage. Yeah. I'm disappointed in you, Jada, but we got to stay right here. So now when you look at this podcast with Jada and Joe, or Crack and Kiss, whatever you want to call them, right? You can see that Joe is a knock-knee Latino that got an issue that he need to resolve. And Jada ain't no rough rider. Jada is Clarence from 8 Mile. Jada is the dude that went to private school, went to college, had a daddy and a mother, had a really good home. He didn't have to sell crack. He didn't have to go on a block. He ain't have to shoot nobody. He ain't have to lie. But he chose to be down, to be cool. Now when you look at these dudes, you can see through the smoke and mirrors. That's all I'm here to do. I just want you to be able to see what you're looking at when you're looking at it. Understand the difference when you come to this independent content creation and then you go to these makeshift podcasts that the higher ups and the elites are putting together. Just like they put those rap albums together. Just like they put those rappers out there like Jadakiss, Clarence from 8 Mile, and had us talking about I'm a rough rider. Had us wanting to, we wanted so much coke that you had to use the scales that they weigh the wells with. We wanted that from a dude that went to private school secretly, from a dude that went to college, from a dude that had both parents, and Clarence's parents had a real good marriage. All right? Now, because it's Mother's Day, I can't stay too much longer, but this is the last angle, and I mean, this is a good angle right here. This angle right here is a powerful angle. We always got to talk about the higher ups and the elites. Now, the same way, these Jewish people, these higher ups and these elites put together the rap industry to mislead the youngsters, to interrupt something that was pure, like hip hop, something that could lead us into the promised lands. They poisoned it. They perverted it. The same way they did that with hip hop, that's exactly what they're doing with content creation. That's exactly what you are looking at. You are watching the higher ups and the elites understand beforehand, yo, this content creation shit is powerful. It is something that if these guys actually understand what they are doing with these cameras, with this application, and they use it the right way, they can really go to the next level. This content, this YouTube stuff is way more powerful than what we thought it was going to be. You got dudes like Grown Man Business TV. My voice is more powerful than CNN. It's more powerful than Fox News. It's more powerful than DJ Envy and Charlamagne the God playing butt tag on your morning radio every day. So now you ask yourself, what you mean by that GMB TV? I mean, why you say that? Well, have you noticed the influx of rappers becoming podcasters? Have you noticed the influx of entertainers and puppets coming and becoming podcasters? Have you noticed that? And I tell y'all all the time that it's always, it's never a coincidence. Coincidences don't exist, right? And regardless if it's the higher ups, if it's us, it don't matter who it is, there's always a pattern. If you can see through the higher ups and the elites, if you can see through the smoke and mirrors, you can see a pattern. And then you can pinpoint what's going on. Well, let me give y'all some game. Let's break down the pattern. Fat Joe did a podcast. It was just Fat Joe. It didn't work. He doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough. He's not charismatic enough. He doesn't articulate himself on the highest level. Nobody was rocking with it. So now we got Joe and Kiss, the number 2. The number 2 is the pattern. And I got 222 in the chat. I mean, I think that's a divine calling right there. That's a glitch in the matrix. The number 2 is the key. Now you got Jada and Joe, right? You got Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. You got Cam and Mace. You got Gilly and Wallow. You got a 2-man show on each podcast. You got 2 celebrities, 2 puppets for the higher ups and the elites on each podcast, because 2 is always better than 1. And they all got dirt on their name. They all got something in the closet. They all got strings attached. Well, you know, Fat Joe has been accused of dating. He's been rapping and accused of dating a 16-year-old little girl, allegedly. We all heard the song of Fat Joe talking about that 16-year-old little girl topping him off. Jadakiss, he was with Diddy back in the day, wearing shiny suits and all of that, dancing around in the videos and all that. Okay, Cam, Mace. Well, we all know that Cameron said he found a dildo on Mace's toilet, right there by a sink, right there on the sink in his bathroom. Cam said he found the dildo right next to his toothbrush and his mouthwash. We all know Mace used to live with Diddy. They were sharing dildos all in the house and all that. We already know that, right? Shannon Sharp, Ocho Cinco. We all know what's going down with Shannon Sharp. We all know what's taking place with Shannon Sharp. We all seen Ocho Cinco out there doing what he do. Gilly and Wallow. Well, you know, I'm a have fun with this one, because Gilly and Wallow. Let's talk about Gilly and Wallow, right? Gilly, we all know about his son and all that, right? We all know about Gilly's son losing his life out there in Philadelphia. You know, a lot of people are saying that was a sacrifice. I've already said what I'm going to say about that. Take that how you want to take it. Wallow, he got out of jail. He's a $1 million worth of game, and we should listen to Wallow, right? And Wallow is a guy that we should inspire to be like, but Wallow is out here telling us about erections, and matter of fact, I kept the receipts. I kept the receipts.
Longer erection, Rose Sparks is here for you. You're going to be standing like a statue. I'm telling you, life is going to change. They work in 15. You want a thicker, a longer erection, Rose Sparks is here for you. You're going to be standing like a statue. I'm telling you, life is going to. You want a thicker, a longer erection, Rose Sparks is here for you. You're going to be standing like a statue. I'm telling you, life is going to change. You want a thicker, a longer erection. You want a thicker, a longer erection. You want a thicker, a longer erection, Rose Sparks is here for you. You're going to be standing like a statue. I'm telling you, life is going to change. They work in 15. You want a thicker, a longer erection. You want a thicker, a longer erection. You want a thicker, a longer erection. Rose Sparks is here for you. You're going to be standing like a statue. I'm telling you, life is going to change.
Oh, wallow. Now they got you out here talking about a thicker, longer erection and all that. Okay? So the higher ups in the elites are funding these puppets. They are giving them big checks to come out here and talk, to come out here and muddy the waters, to come out here and pervert and poison independent content creation. Yeah, Fat Joe, Jadakiss, they just got they out there with Revolt or Rock Nation. These are not independent content creators. These are paid puppets out here talking about thicker, longer erections and all that. Yeah. $1 million worth of game out here telling us about sex pills for a thicker and a longer erection. Yeah, million. He's supposed to be giving us $1 million worth of game. And he telling us about so what y'all need to do, and again, we're not staying long, but when y'all see these podcasters, all of a sudden podcasting, you need to know that is a trap. That is the higher ups in the elites. Grown Man Business TV and other YouTubers, we are independent content creators. That's why I ain't got no check. That's why I ain't doing all of that. You don't see none of that on this channel. All you get is pure dope straight off the brick into the bottles. You got Fat Joe talking about FBA this and FBA that. You got Jadakiss daddy exposing him for being Clarence from 8 Mile. And Clarence's parents had a pretty good marriage. Damn, Jada. You got Gillian Wallow out here talking about stiffer, longer erections and all that. Sex pills they trying to sell to us. You got Cameron and Mace selling pink horsepower. What's going on with the higher ups in the elites and all these sex pills and all this sex powder and the hypersexuality with these men and all that? Ain't nobody thought that was weird that these podcasters got sex pills to sell us grown ass men. I'm getting real toxic. Started from the bottom. I really wanna rock it. Maybe it's your problem. I mean, I used to like that song when I used to watch Cam and Mason all. They kept saying they don't know. But then I started asking myself, why is Cam grown ass selling us sex pills and shit? The same man that found the dildo on Mace's sink and there with Diddy, he walked into the bathroom, found the big ass dildo right next to the mouthwash and a toothpaste. Now he's selling us sex pills and pink horsepower. We don't want pink horses around. I don't want nothing with a pink horse on it, Cameron. I don't want nothing with a pink horse, nigga. Nobody don't want to tell. So all these podcasters, all these celebrities is down low homosexual men, if you ask me. Allegedly. I'm going to say alleged to that. I think y'all all got down with the boule. I think y'all all got down with the get down. Why would Cameron want to sell me a pink horse? Yeah, pink horsepower. Well, I don't want none of that horsepower. I'm not fucking with none of that. I'm not rocking with none of that. So Cameron got pink horsepower. Mace had dildos on his sink. And now they on the same podcast giggling. All the goddamn giggling together. And ain't nobody asked the question. Well, what I'm here to do is let you know it's a separation. We ain't in the same lane. This ain't that, and that ain't this. This ain't that, and that ain't this. Pink horsepower. You selling pink horses to black men. And ain't nobody called your silly ass out for that. Well, we don't want your pink horsepower, Cameron. We don't want your pink horses. Keep your pink horses for Saucy Santana. Pink, I think Saucy Santana and Little Nas X, I think they might be down with pink horses. But us grown men, we ain't with that shit. Not only do we got Cam and Mace selling pink horses and telling stories about dildos that they was using with P. Diddy, we got Wallow now. All of a sudden, Mr. $1 million worth of game, they got to you. They cut you a big check, didn't they, Wallow? You out there buying Lamborghinis, Porsches. Yeah, you out there showing out. And yeah, look.
They work in 15. You want a thicker, a longer erection? Rose Sparks is here for you. You want a thicker, a longer erection? Rose Sparks is here for you. You want a thicker, a longer erection? Rose Sparks is here for you. You want a thicker, a longer erection? Rose Sparks is here for you. You're going to be standing like a statue. I'm telling you, life is going to change.
You're going to be standing like a statue and your life is going to change. Know what you're looking at when you see these bloggers all of a sudden come to us and tell us that they got a podcast. They're going to be talking about pink horsepower and stiffer, harder erections and all that. You fucking dudes is crazy. Yeah, fuck it. I told the people it is what it is. You don't like it, do something. But I know what you do. I know what you're doing, Wallow. So now when we see this, we don't feel ambushed. We all understand this is what's going on and we get it. But don't ever get it confused with independent content creation. Don't ever get these dudes confused with grown man business TV. Yeah. It's a blueprint. It's a ploy. It's a trap. They the same way they started dressing these rappers up as gangsters, the same way they started pulling these private school students and calling them rough riders, and then having them rap to us about, the coke that come in, gotta use the scale that they weigh the whales with. Those same tactics they are using now with YouTube, the same tactics they are using now with podcasts. I could go all the way to Joe Buttons. Joe Buttons, he got all kind of weird. Joe Buttons went on his podcast and told us that him and his dog, he used to jack his dog off and help his dog ejaculate. When his dog was trying to do what his dog was trying to do, he used to grab that little pink thing and he used to work it. Joe said that he used his bare hands and jack off his dog. These are podcasts that they presenting to y'all. These are the dudes they want y'all to listen to. These are the dudes they want y'all to lock in with. Pink horsepower, a fucking pink horse. You got Wallow talking about, stiff hard erections. You got Fat Joe talking about FBA this, FBA that. You got Jadakiss, who is Clarence from 8 Mile, a private school with Clarence. Parents had a really good marriage. And you got Joe Buttons talking about jerking off his dog and all that. Now you understand the difference between we and them. We the people, and them. Now, big salute to the chat, man. I got things to do. Happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. I gotta make a post. I've been ripping and running and chopping and screwing and all that. So I gotta make a post for my old lady. This is the thing. I want to say this, right? Mother's Day is for your mother. All right. I just listen to what I'm saying. Mother's Day is for your mother. I didn't know, I don't think we should have to goddamn post every mother we know and talk about every mother. My mother is I say happy Mother's Day to my mama. You know what I mean? I gotta give my old lady a pause. She a mama. I gotta talk to this motherfucker. My sister, she a mama. My niece and my nephew. Hey, I got all these people that you ain't my mama. I just wanted to throw that out there. I got one mama, man. I was supposed to make one post on Mother's Day. I was supposed to make one post. Your daddy is your daddy. I ain't your daddy. I don't really expect you to give me no love on Father's Day because I ain't your daddy. My kids, they give me love on Father's Day. But I don't think all y'all need to air. My kids is who don't tell me Happy Father's Day. My old lady ain't really got to worry about that on Father's Day. I'm not your daddy. You need to tell your daddy Happy Father's Day and get him something. I'm not your guy. Well, I am your daddy, but I'm not your daddy. I'm your daddy, but I ain't your father. I say that when it come to my old lady. I am your daddy, but I ain't your goddamn father. I wanted to throw that out there. I don't understand. I pose my mama. I say Mother's Day to my mama, and motherfucker hit me about me not say, my bad. I'm sorry. I but make sure I tell everybody Happy Mother's Day because I only got one mother, man. With that being said, man, these podcasters is out of pocket. All of you dudes is being paid by the higher ups and the elites. I'm so thankful to have a platform that has not bended, break, or folded. I need 100 likes in here, man. Hit the like button. What the fuck is going on, man? Why I gotta hit the like button? Stop lurking, man, and just tap the like button. Tap the screen twice. Do not be a hater your whole life. All right? But I'm happy, and it's very fulfilling that I built this channel organically, and I made the attention, and my attentions always was pure to build this channel organically. You understand? Like, it's so easy to sell out, my G. It's so easy to sell your integrity on this app. This is a portal right here. And it's a lot of people speaking out. It's a lot of people with some good game on this portal, and they have to muddy the waters. And who else do they use to muddy the waters? Celebrities, puppets, paid activists. I mean, I'm going to tell you something, man. If Jadakiss can be proven to be a phony, man, anything's fucking possible, man. Anything. If we can find out that Jadakiss went to private school, he went to college, he had a mother and a father that's telling you he did not have to hustle. He did not have to talk. He did not have to weigh the coke with the scales that they weigh the whales with. He didn't even have to, like, when you, as a grown man, to hear that, it just reassures to me that anything is possible with these puppets, bro. This shit is an illusion. And I'm going to tell you something. They are working tirelessly. They are really working hard to muffle pure independent content creators like myself. They're trying to drown out this type of message. And they use these celebrities that they have made popular, that they have put through the machine. You know what I'm saying? You think, oh, these niggas, they going to put a couple of $100 million behind Joe and crack. So they can have all the new shit, the new chains, all the new Jordans and all of that. Nice equipment, all the new microphones and all that, so they can talk directly to y'all. You got to get it while the getting is good, man. They are working tirelessly to stop this message right here. But I'm here to tell you, man, as long as Fat Joe knees is knocking, we gonna keep it rocking. As long as Fat Joe knees is knocking, Grown Man Business TV, we gonna keep it rocking. And I'm telling you, Fat Joe knees is knocking. Goddamn Jadakiss is clearance from 8 Mile. Wallow and Gilly, they selling goddamn, he talking about erections. They got Wallow talking about stiff, hard erections. Killer Cam, I mean, ain't nobody thought to ask Killer Cam, why would you be doing a show with a man that had a dildo next to his toothbrush? If the dildo was next to his toothbrush, you know what he was doing with it. He was brushing his goddamn teeth. Diddy was brushing Mace's teeth with that dildo, allegedly. Diddy used to come into that brownstone and brush Mace's teeth with that. It is what it is. Ain't that what the podcast is called? It is what it is. Nobody ain't asked Cameron, why the fuck would you look past that? Why you doing a oh, I get you. Oh, you forgot about that dildo. You forgot about that dildo, Cameron, and now you selling us pink horses and shit. You want us to, yeah, drink this pink horsepower. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I wouldn't dare touch a pink horsepower. I wouldn't give a fuck about that. How about work out, eat clean, change your diet? You can do now you can do what you need to do. But pink horses, grown ass men, you trying to, I'm a grown ass man. You want me to partake in pink horses. All these dudes. I mean, Shannon Sharp, we just found out he was laying down with a 19-year-old teenager, dropping Johnson, a 60-year-old man dropping Johnson in a night. I mean, all these podcasters are compromised. They all sellouts. So, Fat Joe, Jada, salute to your podcast, man. I believe it's going to be a circus. I believe it's going to be comedy hour. I used to watch Cam and Mason in the beginning of their podcast until that pink horsepower shit started. The song started being, the song was stuck in my head. You wanna call that thing toxic? 100 miles an hour. Running to the body. Maybe it's my own power, man. Like I don't want to think about pink horses. I cut that shit off. I don't listen. I don't watch. It is what it is. I don't watch it anymore. Every time I see Mace giggling, I think about that dildo that was next to your toothbrush and your mouthwash, and you're washing your mouth out with the. I know what you was doing with Diddy in there, Mace. I don't want to watch you talk about nothing. Explain why you had that dildo in your bathroom. That's what you should be telling us about. All right, so big salute to the chat. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. All the mothers out there. Listen, man. You are in tune with the Realest on YouTube. This is pure dope, straight off the brick into the bottles. You not going, I don't care what celebrity it is. You not going to get that pure, raw dope. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you locked into the channel. Make sure you are in tune with the Realest on YouTube. Grown Man Business TV. It ain't no other. You ain't gonna find this nowhere else. Nigga, I ain't go to private school, nigga. If I went to private school, I would tell you I went to private school, nigga. You talking about the scales and the dope that you got to use the scales that they weigh. See, we always wanted to know where was the scales that you had to weigh the whales with. And we inspired to get enough coke, enough dope to use the scales that they weigh the whales with. Jada, you should be ashamed of your goddamn self. Your daddy told on your ass, boy. Wallow. Yeah, you said it. You said stiff hardy wreck. You nasty work, man. With that being said, man, you already know what time it is. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. Feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You do know what I suggest, and I suggest that you tap in. Hold on. Go ahead, Wallow. Go ahead. I know what you wanted to say. Go ahead.
And 15, you want a thicker, a longer erection? Rose Sparks is here for you. You're going to be standing like a statue. I'm telling you, life is going to change. You want a thicker, a longer erection? Rose Sparks is here for you. You want a thicker, a longer erection? You want a thicker, a longer erection? You want a thicker, a longer erection?
Hey, Wallow, we don't want to goddamn talk to you about that, boss. That ain't something that bald-headed grown man, your goddamn scoop head ass need to be. You shouldn't be talking to us like that with your scoop head ass. Milk dud head ass little boy. We don't want to talk to you about stiff hard or erect. Get your scoop head ass out of here. All right, I just wanted to say that. I wanted to throw that out there. All right, so you already know what time it is. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You do know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. I suggest you tap into this grown man business. I suggest you tap into this grown man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick into the bottle. Straight raw, pure, uncut, no extras, no preservatives. We not sugarcoat nothing. We not dressing nothing up. Listen, man, I'm going to give you this game straight, raw, pure dope. I'm going to give it to you raw. All these podcasts has been compromised. So salute to you and your little podcast and all that. We doing it organically over here. We ain't taking no handouts, no other way, shape, form, or fashion will you ever see me talking about stiff hard erections and all that. I don't want your pink horsepower. Keep your pink horses for Saucy Santana. Why you got a dildo and pink horses all working together? Mace had a dildo on his sink. Cam got pink horsepower. Why y'all got all that mixed in this? I know what you're into. I know what you did last summer. With that being said, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grow Bear Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. Gang.